Hello and good morning, everyone, and welcome to another 24-hour Balls podcast live. Hey, I want to welcome everyone to this episode. Welcome to this show. Appreciate you joining and supporting 24-hour Balls. This is the show where we explore the world of leadership and how you can be successful or how it can benefit you in your professional and personal life. And this is the show where we talk about also overcoming obstacles, failure, and even breaking out of your comfort zone. And also, we bring on great guests, great, amazing guests that bring on their expertise and share their expertise and all of their great professionalism. And so, we want to thank you and welcome you for joining us on this episode. And today, we have another great, amazing guest. My guest today is the creator and founder of Women Who Rise, which is a fast growing, successful podcast in which she shares the testimonies of women who have overcome obstacles in life and everywhere. And amazing podcast. Amen. But I'm going to bring her on for today and share her with our audience and just hear more about her story and Women Who Rise. So I'm going to get ready to bring her on and I'll have you welcome. Let's welcome Miss Teara Randall to the 24-Hour Balls podcast.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Honored to be here.
Hey, how you doing today, Miss Teara?
I'm wonderful. I'm great. I'm blessed. Can't complain. I'm excited to chat with you. I'm excited to be a guest on 24-hour podcast, and
Yeah,
I'm honored. Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate you accepting the invite and definitely we want to hear about this successful podcast and how we got here because man, you got over 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube and you just growing. So we gotta see what she's doing because definitely you can help a whole lot of us. But no, but I think your platform is also amazing. I think what you're doing is encouraging, and I know the people that support you. I know they are benefiting from it. So we're gonna talk with you and find out more about it. And so, Miss Tiara, I guess for our audience, give us maybe a fun fact about you that maybe some of us don't know.
Yes. One major fun fact that I think would be a big shocker to everybody is that I am not a fan of going live on social media.
Wait a minute, what?
I have never been a fan. Now I don't mind taking a photo, a picture. I'll post a picture, but going live or doing a video with my face in front, I've never been a fan. I've always dreaded that. So yeah, fun fact, I do not like it. I guess that's part of the reason why I'm nervous every week doing Women Who Rise. But God had to pull me out of my comfort zone. But
Mm.
I'm not a fan of going live at all.
So yeah, we gotta. Yeah, I know, right? So I'm right there with you. Uh, don't like lives. It's just kind of something that you have to do, I guess, if you're doing something like this. So
Right.
it's just one of those things. But I'm glad you said that because I know it's a lot of people that and I think we all are where we struggle with that being on
Mhm.
camera, uh going live. That's really something
Right.
different because it's like you want to try to be perfect, but you can't be perfect.
And-
I'll just go ahead and put that out there to everybody. You'll never be perfect. Just go
Right.
ahead and hit record and
Mhm.
and get it out there. But
Right.
man, that's something you don't seem nervous. I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody can chat in the comments if you ever notice that Miss Tiara seems nervous. I don't ever see that she seems nervous, but I definitely can relate because it is nerve wracking, whether it's live or even if it's behind the scenes, it's nerve
Right.
wracking.
Very nerve-wracking. Yeah. Takes
But
a lot of faith. So
it does. Takes a lot of faith, a lot of patience, and man, a lot of courage. But you know,
yeah.
again, that's what we talk about on this podcast. We talk about breaking out your comfort zone because sometimes
Right.
you have to do that to just see that you know what it is okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I think with all the success you've had, I think it's kind of showing that hey, you know what, that's great. All
Right.
right, but that is a interesting fact. I wouldn't have known that. but I can relate. I'm right there with you. Okay,
Right.
so let's dive into this
Mhm.
women who rise. Okay, so what were okay, I guess before you started women who rise. So
Mhm.
I want to back up. So you I guess I don't know. So how did this initially start? Like the thought of actually starting a podcast. How did it even start?
So initially, it was never in my mind. Literally, the way Women Who Rise even came about, I was in prayer one night, and I was in a season in my life, and I was praying, and I was telling God, I said, God, I feel like I'm not doing enough for you. And I began to tell God, I want to do more. Of course, I'm active in church, I'm active in ministry, but I told God, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I was praying, and I began to tell God, I said, God, I want to help people in some type of way. And I said, God, I want to help women. I said, I don't know how, but I feel like there's something I can do to help women. And I began to tell God, I said, I want to help women rise.
Hmm.
And he literally dropped it, just like I'm talking to you, Brian. He dropped in my spirit, you can help women rise. And I began to ask God, I said, God, what would I call it? How can I help women rise? And he literally said, you can call it Women Who Rise. And then, just like I'm talking to you, I began to tell God, okay, how am I going to do this? And he began to say, you can get different women to testify,
Hmm.
on Facebook and on YouTube. Just get different women, everyday women, to give their testimony of how I bless them to rise. And that'll be an encouragement to other women to rise as well. So, after that, I called my leader on the phone, and I told him, I said, can I run this idea by you? See what you think. He's a very wise man. So I said,
Hmm.
I want to see what you think about this. And when I told him about the concept, the idea, he loved it. He said, oh, I have no doubt in my mind you could do that. He said, not only that, you'll be successful at it. So
Hmm.
in a nutshell, that's how Women Who Rise came about. I was hesitant after that. I even sat on it for a little while longer, another like 2 months or so. I didn't do anything. I didn't get any flyers made. I didn't launch anything because I was so hesitant. But once God, gave me the faith to actually get up and do it, I launched Women Who Rise, and here we are today.
Wow. Okay, so well, God, of course, just kind of gave you the thought that you could
Absolutely.
could help women rise,
Mhm.
and you sat on it. And
Mhm.
how long you think it was before you actually said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it? And I'm asking that question because I know even for myself,
Mhm.
it's like when things like this happen, it's like you get nervous and you second guess
Right.
yourself, and it's like you wonder, will this be good? Will I be received? Actually,
Mhm.
I remember, just last week I was watching Minister Lewis of Just Teach. Uh,
Okay.
he has the Just Teach platform, but I was watching him. He was talking about he also had reached 1,000
Mhm.
subscribers on YouTube. A shout out to Just Teach. But he even said before he put uh, his his idea out there,
Mhm.
he was wondering how would it be received. And
Right.
so, do you have those same sentiments as far as like before launching it, before doing it? How will I be received?
Absolutely. And that was actually one of my biggest fears. In my head, I battled with it because I was like, nobody's going to want to watch it. For those of us that are, regular church attendees, we hear testimonies all the time.
Hmm.
So in my head, I'm like, nobody's going to want to watch it. Nobody's going to want to hear these testimonies. In my head, I'm like, what if I get women on here that their testimony seemed, not to be interesting, or, and it was just all these thoughts in my head. I'm like, people aren't want going to see my face every week. They're going to get tired of hearing my voice. So that was the biggest thing that, made me hesitant to launch it, because I sat on it for another 2 months, maybe about another 2.5 months before I even did anything with it. Because in the back of my head, I had that fear of, what if it's not successful? What if it doesn't reach anybody?
Hmm.
And I had to just God had to push me out of my
Yeah.
comfort zone and say, hey, I gave it to you, do it, and I'll handle the rest. So I had to put fear on the back burner and just let my faith
Mm.
take over.
Yes, I like that, and that's a good point. And I say for all of those, those that get these ideas to do things like this. Of course, you want to pray about it, like you said. You sought your leader about it.
Mhm.
Um, But also, it just comes to a time or a point where it's like you gotta just let your faith operate and put your fear
Right.
aside, because sometimes fear holds us back. And again,
Exactly.
and that's a good example of breaking out your comfort zone
Mhm.
with women who rise, and you go ahead and push it forward. So, as far as I know, you say you can do the testimonies, but did you already have the idea that it would be a podcast?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. I've never known anything about podcasts or how to work a podcast. I've never known anything about how to start a podcast. Yeah, and in my head initially, I was just gonna go live on Facebook and have
Okay.
different women to testify, and that was it. Even the YouTube part came, maybe after about the third or fourth episode. I started
Mhm.
the YouTube part, but never in my mind thought about having it as an actual podcast at all.
Wow. So you don't have any tech background or anything like that.
Not even not even 1%. Not even at all. I'm not tech savvy in any type of way. I guess that's another fun fact about me. Not tech savvy in any kind of way.
Okay, see, I want to break right there and just shout out to look, everybody, when you come up with ideas, you don't have to be tech savvy. Sometimes that holds us back too, because it's like we say, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? You know what? Go to Google, go to YouTube,
Yeah.
start doing your research, and you'll figure out how to make a way. You will.
Yeah.
It'll do it. But Miss Teara Randall didn't have no tech background. So let me ask you: when you started out, did you just start going live before you're doing like your format now? Did you just start going live, or how what was your first episode like?
Um. So my very first episode, I just went live. And the way Facebook works, invite another person to join your live, and that's exactly what we did.
Okay.
It was nerve wracking, but I had the person to join me live on Facebook, and that was it. It was weird at first, even with working Facebook in that type of way. I had never went live with another person, bringing them on camera with me. So
Yeah.
I even had to learn that part because I didn't know. I had to go to Google and Google how to bring somebody on screen with me in a Facebook live. I had absolutely no experience, even in that like basic Facebook, things. I had no experience. So I
Yeah.
had to Google it. I had to learn it, but thank God we got it.
A lot of learning, and sounds like you rose from that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I rose
you,
from that.
you rose from that. But again, that's another point. You don't have to know everything. And you know what? To everybody that's out there listening, and let me just say that hey, if you're listening on Facebook, please like, share this video. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, like the video, comment. Also subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna have, of course, more great guests. So I just want to break in and say that. But again, back to what I was saying, you don't have to know everything
Right.
when you get started. Now you do need to plan it, but you
Mhm.
don't expect to know everything, because again, those are things that hold us back too. We think that I
Right.
got to know everything before I get started, or I need the best camera, I need the best equipment. You don't have
You
to do
don't.
that. You can just use your phone. You really can. If you're doing something like a podcast, you can just use your
Right.
phone. But don't let those things hold you back. But great points. Um, there, Miss Tierra. So okay, so you get this idea to start it, and you launch it, and you go on. Of course, you had second thoughts. And I think everybody has second thoughts. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can testify before they put themselves out there. They have second thoughts about it, like
Right.
you said, because we want to know how will it be received. I had those same thoughts. How will it be received?
Exactly. That's a big fear.
Okay. Um, and of course, well, one of my questions was, how did you come up with the name? But you already said that God dropped it in your spirit
Mhm.
to go ahead and use Women Who Rise. And to the brothers out there, I know she said she's gonna help women, so I'm not gonna say nothing about that or that she was being biased, but she's she's actually no, I think that's great that you're actually trying to help me. I mean, I'm not a woman, so women deal with different things than men. So
Exactly.
that's a great avenue that you decided to do that. Okay,
Mhm.
so let me ask you. So what has the response been like from those who like support your brand and support Women Who Rise? What has the response been like? Like, what is some of the feedback you've been hearing since you've started Women Who
So
Rise?
the response has actually been overwhelming in a great way. I never imagined in a million years that I would even get the type of response that I've been getting, and it's overwhelming, and I'm grateful for it. Every week, without fail, after every testimony, after every episode, I'm getting inboxes from complete strangers, and I thank God for it. But messages from complete strangers, and even from some people that I'm actually familiar with, messages saying, "Hey, that episode blessed me, or that testimony blessed me." And I love when I get the specific messages that say, "I needed that testimony," or "That's right where I am right now today. I'm dealing with that exact same thing." And when I get those messages, I'm like, to God be the glory, because I always think to myself, and I always tell God, God, I don't know what your people need. I don't know. I don't know what testimonies they need to hear. And even with my guests, I never know in advance what they're going to testify about. I don't ask them in advance, hey, what is your testimony going to be based on? What topic are you going to talk about? I don't even want to know in advance. I pray and I
Mm-hmm.
tell God, I pray for my guests in advance, and I tell God, you put your words in their mouth, because you know what people need to hear, not just women, because we have male viewers as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
tell God all the time, even though it's a woman testifying, let them say something that a man and a woman will need in that season of their life to help them rise. So the feedback has been awesome. It's been amazing.
Wow.
I've heard from people literally all over the world, from Canada, people from the UK, India have
Wow.
inbox, just saying, I love your podcast. And it's so encouraging when I get the feedback of, keep going, it's working, keep doing what you're doing. So the feedback is awesome. And I thank God for it.
Wow, yeah, that's what's I think that's what's amazing. Of course, I mean, you're there, but that's why I wanted to ask that too, because um, so and again, going back to you before you started it, if you sat on it and never started it, you wouldn't be here. I
Right.
mean, we look at your platform and it's still rising. You're still rising, you're still growing.
Yes,
But
sir.
had you not started it, you wouldn't be getting that feedback. You wouldn't be getting those testimonies from complete strangers, which is
Right.
amazing that
Right.
that you can help people and you can encourage people, and whether people realize it or not, of course, we live in, of course, in the most technological advanced time, but people are hurting. They really are.
Exactly.
People are
Exactly.
hurting and they need some kind of encouragement. Is kind of sad that if you look at the news and everything's so down. So I commend you for starting this platform and having a platform to where you can encourage women, encourage people, encourage the people of God,
Right.
to keep going and rise. So, man, I commend you for it, and
Thank you.
kudos, yes, kudos
Thank
to you,
you.
and to all of your success. And of course, you said, like you said, you didn't, it's a lot of technology you had to learn, and I know you're changing things. You're not doing, I guess, the Facebook Live. So tell us about like how you're doing it today versus how you started.
So today now I'm actually using a restreaming platform, literally entitled Restream.
Hmm.
And what it does, it allows me to stream to multiple platforms at once. When it started in the beginning, it was just Facebook, because I had no clue of how to stream to Facebook and YouTube at the exact same time. But I knew it was something that I wanted to get to doing eventually. In the beginning, I was just, on Facebook. And what I would do is when the testimony ended, I would go back and I would screen record it on my iPhone. I would screen record the whole 45-minute
Mm,
testimony, and I would just upload the video to YouTube. And I was like,
yeah,
there's got to be an easier way to do this. So
gotta
I
be an
got on
easier way.
YouTube. I started Googling I literally typed in how to stream to multiple platforms at once. And Restream is the first, thing that popped up. So I went on Google. I watched maybe about a million videos of how to use how to use Restream. And even after I, downloaded and I purchased, Restream, after that, it still took me a couple of weeks, because I was
Hmm.
still trying to learn it and just still trying to get it down packed. And once I finally got it down packed, I was able to, I think maybe episode number 6 or 7, I was finally able to go live via Restream using Zoom, of course, but I was able to, broadcast to, Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So it was a learning curve, but we got
Learning
there.
curve. See there again. That's another great point. You don't know it all. You don't have to worry about knowing it all. Some things you're gonna learn as you go, and that is good. I mean, that's a I don't use Restream, but there are other platforms out there just like
Mhm.
this one that I'm using where it'll stream it to the different directories or
Right.
platforms that you use. So it's making your world a whole lot easier. And for the record,
Whole lot.
I don't know how to bring somebody on live either through Facebook. I still don't know how to do that. I've never done that. So if somebody had challenged me to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I would have to look at YouTube too. So we don't know
Right.
it all, but that's amazing. That's great. That
Mhm.
you're learning as you go and you continue to grow uh, in regards to that. Okay, so when you look back at where you started and see where Women Who Rise is today, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel so wonderful inside to know that it has grown as much as it has, and that it has reached and touched as many people as it has, both male and female. But at the same time, it encourages me to do more. I'm
Mhm.
in no means am I satisfied with where Women Who Rise is, because I know there's always more people to reach. I know that I have not reached every woman that there is to reach. So yeah, it encourages me and it makes me feel wonderful, and a little bit, kind of, proud of myself a little bit for stepping out on faith and overcoming my fear. But at the same time, when I see it growing, it encourages me to keep growing. It encourages me to be a better host. It encourages me to want to, be on more platforms to reach as many women as I can. So it encourages me, in multiple ways, just to keep going, to go
Yeah.
higher and to do more, and not to become satisfied.
Yeah, great points, excellent points.
Mhm.
Yes, and again, from where you started to where you're at now, you would have never thought, you would be there. I'm sure, but
Never.
it's definitely a recipe, amen, and some medicine for
Mhm.
those who are watching. And I commend you again for the great things you're doing for the community and for like I said, the people of God. And I think we had this conversation just yesterday, how that there is there's, of course, we could put some foolishness out there if we wanted to,
Right.
but that's not what we want to do. So it is good that people of faith can
Mhm.
actually put some good content out there that can be shared with the world, and it can
Absolutely.
encourage the body of Christ. And and you can do it in a professional and a decent way. And that's
Yeah.
that's something we learn and we're taught, you know
Right.
to do it that way. But man, that's
Right.
wonderful. So
Yes.
let me ask you this.
Mhm.
So why, I guess this is, I mean, I guess there's no wrong answer to this, but why do you think Women Who Rise has been so successful? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the main reason, outside of course having God at the center and at the forefront of it, I think the main reason that it has been so successful is simply is because it's what people need
Mm,
today. That's when I was reading the questions you sent to me, and that immediately popped in my head. It's simply what, not just women, it's what people need in general.
yeah.
And like you were saying earlier, it's so much junk on social media. Every time we turn on the news, all we see is bad news. They really should just stop calling it the news and just call it the bad news, because it's so much bad news. And even on social
Yeah.
media, you see so much, junk, so many crazy, challenging challenges that people want to take hold of, and then people are dying from it. So I just think it's what people need. I feel like Women Who Rise is a breath of fresh air. And when somebody, goes on social media or they log on YouTube, it's good for them to see an everyday woman like myself testifying of, a tragedy that they went through, how they were in a low place, and how God simply, He blessed them to rise. He brought them out of it. So I feel like it gives hope, because it's what people need. It's what they need, to connect with their spirit, to let them know, hey, I'm just like her. I'm an average
Hmm.
everyday woman just like her, but look where she is. And I feel like it lets women know that, the God that we serve, even if they don't serve God, I feel like it
Hmm.
still even gives, the sinner hope. to let them know, hey, I don't have to stay where I am, whether it's in sin or whether it's in a difficult situation. It just gives somebody, it just gives hope. And
Yeah.
I think that's why it has been as successful as it has been. It's because it's what people need in today's time.
Yeah. Man, I totally agree. I mean, you're
Mhm.
answering problems too that are out there. And I mean,
Right.
let's face it, we all trying to figure out how to live this life. Of course,
Exactly. We
I
all
know.
trying to rise.
Yeah. We all trying to figure out how to get to the next day. I mean, life is, I
Yeah,
try to teach it to my kids. Like life is about survival.
exactly.
You ain't gotta have the most expensive shoes. Look, if you got shoes, be thankful. Or
Yes,
you can get
yes.
something cheaper. But that is awesome that you are helping to answer problems and to not only that encourage
Mhm.
people. So that is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I know you have had I know everybody that you have on your show every week. I know provides an awesome testimony. I know they do every week, and I know you enjoyed it. I like that thing you did at the end of the year where you had the little caption of all the women who testified
Yes,
back
sir.
in 2022. That was awesome. I like that. But I'm gonna challenge you today, and I don't want anybody to get mad, but I want you to give me three of your most memorable testimonies that you've had on your show on Women Who Rise. Maybe it was something that resonated with you. And
Mhm.
again, it's not to overshadow anybody because I know all the testimonies have been great for me. And plus, we don't have the time to go through all the testimonies anyway. So,
Right.
but maybe give me three of maybe your most memorable testimonies that you've had on your show.
I would say the first one, the most memorable one was the it was with Miss Jennifer Cannon.
Mm,
And the reason why that one for me was one of my most memorable ones is because I fought back tears while she was testifying. And even when the episode ended and we went off air, I cried because her testimony, it hit me. She talked about
mm,
dealing with rejection and rising from a place of feeling like she was always being rejected. And that registered me because I was in a place, in my life where I felt like I was being rejected by people that I really loved and cared about. And I couldn't understand for the life of me, why am I dealing? Why are they rejecting me? Why is this happening to me? So that was the first most memorable one because it hit me. It really, connected with me. And I tell people all the time that when I get women, to testify, the testimonies are for me too. Of course, I wanted to reach other women. I wanted to touch people everywhere, but I feel like the first person the testimony reaches myself. So that testimony, it just did something to me. It encouraged me, and it caused me myself to reflect and look back over where God has brought me from. And I'm like, oh, I was in that same place where I felt rejected, by people that I accepted, but I was in that place of feeling like I was rejected and just like I felt like I couldn't do anything right. So
mm.
that was the first one with Miss Jennifer Cannon. And I would say the second one was with Pastor Diane Cooper. And the
Mm.
reason I say hers is one of the most memorable ones for me is because when you look at a woman of God like Pastor Diane Cooper, she's a powerful powerhouse in the pulpit. A woman of God. We fear her. We have a healthy, holy reverence for her. Powerful speaker, preacher, but at the same time, she is the most humble person.
Mm-hmm.
She's shy, she's quiet, she does not like to talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got that chance, I had multiple phone conversations with her, talking with her, and even when I did the interview with her, it just amazed me how this highly anointed, powerful woman of God who has preached before thousands is just the most humble person, the most
Oh yeah,
quietest person, the most sweetest.
she
She's
is.
camera shy, at the same time. So that really that touched my heart. Just seeing her and talking to her and seeing how she is, outside of the pulpit. I would have never imagined that she was that quiet. She was that camera shy. She was that nervous with a microphone. So that was the second person. And you said three. The third one would be um, Ashton McCurdy.
Okay.
And the reason I say Ashton McCurdy is because she's a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to have young women. Of course, all of the young women that I've had were all phenomenal, but she's one that stands out the most. Her testimony. She's a young woman. She's a preacher. She's saved, genuine, young lady. So, and the fact that she was able to come on and give her testimony as a young person, she had the boldness. She was also shy as well, but she had the
Mm-hmm.
boldness to come and to testify. And I love having, the different age groups come to
Yeah.
give their testimony, because I want women of all ages to see that, hey, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, you can rise. So those are my three most memorable
Awesome.
guests from Women Who Rise.
Yeah, awesome, man. That is, yeah. You've had, of course, like you said, you have different ages and people from all different backgrounds to come and,
Yes, sir.
testify on your platform. That is awesome. Three, and that was
Absolutely.
just three. And like, again, I know all the testimonies were amazing that you've had, but for time's sake, we just wanted to just showcase or feature
Mhm.
just three of those. But awesome, 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 wonderful. All right, so Miss Teara, do you like surprises?
Oh, um, yes,
All right,
yes, and
wonderful,
yes
wonderful.
and no.
All right, wonderful. I got some surprise questions for you.
Okay,
Okay, so this first question, um, you gotta hear it. You gotta hear all the answers before you pick one. Okay.
okay,
Okay. So this question goes like this, and this is directly related to you. As a child, I was okay with, and here are the responses: getting a whooping from my parents, cleaning up or doing chores, drinking from the outside water hose, or none of these.
none of these.
And
um,
why do
I
you say that?
I would say that I was probably okay with cleaning up.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I was like, oh, you ain't got time for that. But absolutely drinking from the water hose outside, no, never.
Really? Hmm.
Now getting the whooping, that's certainly a no.
Oh
I
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
was the child. I was terrified of a whooping. No. Yeah.
Okay. So you never as a child drank from the water hose outside?
I remember doing that one time in my life. And afterwards I said to myself that was the grossest thing ever, because I didn't know
Yeah.
what was inside of the water hose.
Yeah. Mm.
I felt like it was bugs in there, dirt. So I was like, my brothers did it all the time, but I was like,
Yeah.
I'll never do it again. One time I was one and done. Couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
Okay. I guess I'm showing my age because we played, and I mean we was right there in the neighborhood. We did it all the time as kids, and we didn't get sick or nothing. So, but anyway, shout out to all those who grew up like I did, drinking from the water hose as a child. I didn't like doing chores either, but and definitely not a whooping. Definitely. All
Definitely
right.
not.
Okay. So next surprise question. Um, if you could travel anywhere in the world on a 7-day vacation, where would you go?
Hands down, I would go to Dubai. That is my dream destination place. I'm going to go to Dubai one day. Hands down, I'll go to Dubai. I'll spend 2 weeks in Dubai.
Mm, okay. Dubai. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it looks amazing, definitely.
Yes,
It looks amazing.
absolutely.
All right. Last surprise question. Okay. So you got to answer this for those that are eavesdropping and all those standing in the back. Settle the score. Team iPhone or Team Samsung?
iPhone all the way. Samsung would never live up to the iPhone standard.
Mm,
Never. iPhone, iPhone. Let the church say amen. iPhone
mm.
next.
Oh, well,
Hands down, iPhone.
wow. Okay. Hey, so all you Samsung heads out there,
I'm sorry.
Miss
iPhone it
Tierra,
is.
Miss Tierra has put her stake in the ground. She put her flag on the hill, and she's taking a stand, and she's not coming down.
No, sir. There's really no comparison there. So
Team iPhone all the way for Miss Tierra. Okay,
all
so
the
if,
way.
if anybody got a problem, you got to go talk to Miss Tierra. All right. All
I
right. We're
love
about
y'all
to.
though.
Oh, yes. 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 Okay. So if you could offer advice, which I mean, you already got the platform. I know you already given some great testimony, but if you could offer advice to impact change to the world to help somebody, what would that advice be?
The first advice I would give would be to number one, if you don't have God in your life, you're at a great disadvantage. That would be number one. So yeah, surrender your life to him. That would be first and foremost. Number two, if God has placed something in your spirit, if he's dropped an idea in your spirit and you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's God that gave you the idea, um, step out on faith. Like I said earlier, put your fear on the back burner and let your faith take over. I learned that once you go ahead and just step out of your comfort zone and do, and put into action what God has placed in your spirit, he'll come in and do the rest. And like you said earlier, I had no experience and no knowledge of really how to operate with, going live on social media or how to start a podcast or anything like that. But I knew that I had, the idea. I knew God gave me the idea, the desire. So, put your fear on the back burner, step out on faith, and then God will come in and he'll take care of the rest. He knows the desires of your heart. He knows, maybe it's a business plan that you want to launch and you're fearful of it. And like you said earlier, Brian, fear can be crippling. That
Mm-hmm.
can hinder you, and as long as you let that fear, be your driving force, you won't go anywhere at all. You're going to stay in that same place. So cast fear out the way, put
Mm.
your faith into action, and God will come in and he'll bless and he'll give you, even more ideas, he'll give you even more vision on how to further what he's already placed inside of you. So yeah, God will be number one. And after that, step out on faith and do what he's called you to do. Launch that business, put your logo out there, put your brand out there. Even if you don't have it all together in the beginning, just get it started.
Yes.
Just get it started. So those are the two main things: God first and get it started.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a nice little message to put out there. But well said. I mean, amen to all of that. As you were speaking, the thought just done like the scriptures. Don't despise small beginnings. You just never know where you're gonna end up. Who
Right.
knows? But that is awesome, amazing, great, amazing advice from Miss Teara, and
Thank
something
you.
I totally agree with. Totally agree with. All right, so what's next for Women Who Rise?
What's next? We are working on our website right now, trying to get that putting the final touches on our website. We'll be available on Spotify here soon as well. And even on our website, we'll have some actual products that people will be able to actually purchase from our website. We have some T-shirts coming with some other, nice little products that simply say, women who rise. I'm a woman. I'm simply a woman who chose to rise. So, and I feel like that'll be great conversation starters. Somebody will see you with a product that says, I'm a woman who decided to rise. And even for men, we're gonna have some products that say
Yeah,
I
we
say I
rise too,
choose.
brothers.
Yeah, we're gonna have. I got the men in mind as well for the male supporters. We're gonna have some products that simply says I choose to rise. So it won't say a woman on it, but it'll still be the Women Who Rise brand. So, and they're great conversation starters. Somebody will see it and say, what do you mean you choose to rise? What does that mean? And hey, there's a conversation right there. So look forward to that. We have some actual products coming along with our website, as well as being on Spotify for those who can't actually visually sit and watch, but they like to listen while they're, maybe going to work in the morning or coming
Right.
home. They'll be able to listen. So those are a few things that we have coming up
Awesome.
for Women Who Rise. We also have our 1 year anniversary coming up in May. So I have something big planned for that as well
Mm.
that I'm trying to work on, an actual physical event to
Hmm.
celebrate the 1 year anniversary of Women Who Rise. So y'all pray for
Wow.
me on that.
Yes, yes. Keep praying for Sister Teara. Man, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And again, like I stated in the beginning, she has a successful podcast, of course, and it's growing. And she started this. It's not even a year old. I mean, back in May of 2022,
Yes.
and look at where she has risen from. So again, like she said, put it out there, get it out there. You just never know where God will take you.
Hmm.
All right, so go ahead and well, I think you kind of gave some of it, but go ahead and give people like your socials. And I apologize, I was meaning to have a slide or a share up there, but go ahead and give people your socials, how they can connect, find you out there with Women Who Rise.
Yes, sir. So on Facebook, we are called Women Who Rise. Type in Women Who Rise. When you see the lady in purple, that's Women Who Rise.
The lady in
Um,
purple, that's her.
the lady sitting in a chair in purple, that's Women Who Rise. If you go on Instagram, Women Who Rise _ you'll see the lady in purple as well. And on YouTube, just type in Women Who Rise, and pretty soon you'll be able to go to www.womenwhorise.com. And again, the lady in purple. So that's how you all can find us. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to the business that actually did. I get asked a lot about my graphic, the Women Who Rise graphic, the banner, the flyer. I get asked a lot of questions in regards, to that. So the company that did my logo and banner work is Unique Graphics by Octavia Bradley. So
Sister
great
Bradley.
graphics. Yes, great
Mm-hmm.
graphics, great
Shout
work.
out.
So yes, if you're in need of that, Unique Graphics. I think the background color of her thing is blue. So when you see Unique Graphics and photography, y'all hit her up. She'll take care of your graphic needs. So
Yeah, Sister Bradley, definitely talented. And actually, she's gonna be coming up as a guest as well. So I'm gonna just go
yes.
ahead throw that out there since we talking about Sister Octavia. She's gonna be a guest here soon as well.
Yes.
But definitely talented. I mean, man, that's
Mhm.
some amazing talented people
Mhm.
that we connected with. But yes, Unique Graphics. Okay. Hey, man, that's great. You're still growing and you're going, and that is awesome. All right. So I want to say to Miss Teara, man, this has been a great episode. I want to thank you for coming on,
Thank you.
sharing your wisdom, your thoughts, and just Women Who Rise, the idea, how I got started, all that good stuff with our audience. And I know those watching are appreciative of that. I'm appreciative. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank all of those watching, those listening, wherever you're watching from. Hey, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, share the video. If you're watching on YouTube, like it, comment. Also, subscribe to the channel because, like I said, we got some more great, amazing guests coming up that we'll have on this platform. And of course, today we have the great Miss Teara Randall here today with us. And I just want to thank her. So, ladies and gentlemen, the great Teara Randall. For being here, Miss Teara. All right, so
Thank
we are
you.
done. So, want to thank again those watching. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you supporting Miss Teara. I want to say, hey, she have a testimony every week, so it's gonna be dropping Thursday. So uh, go out there and support her, and we appreciate you all joining us on this episode. So that's it for us today. Want to say to everybody, hey, go out there and do some amazing things. Let God speak to your heart, speak to your mind, encourage you, and go ahead and put it out there, like Miss Teara said. So thank y'all so much. We are done. We'll see y'all later. We'll see you in the temple tonight if we have in service. All right. All right. God bless you all. Have a blessed week.
God bless.